Sanhedrin Daf Yod Zayin, 6 lines down. To Ramadan. Visharu Shnei Anashim B'Machane. There were 70 people that were chosen by Moshe Rabbeinu, and 2 people remained in the camp. What's going on? Yeshrim Kaplan Ishtaru, they said their names were in the box that was supposed to be raffled off. Hashem told Moshe, give me 70 people to become the Sanhedrin. Moshe says, how should I do that? Take 6 from each shevet, then I'll have 72. If I do 5 from each, then I'll only have 60, not 70. If I do 6 from one shevet and 5 from the other shevet, then the shevatim will be jealous of the 2 shevatim that have 6 instead of 5. Ma'azah, what do? He chose 6 from each as the candidates. He brought 72 papers. On 70, he wrote Zaken, which is the word for Chacham or some part of a judge. And 2 of them he left blank. Mixed in the box. Moshe told the 72 people, go and draw your papers. Whoever drew a paper that said Zaken on it, he said, Hashem has chosen you. Hashem made you kadosh. Whoever got a blank paper, Moshe said, He said, Hashem didn't choose you. What should I do? He didn't blame it. However, Eldad and Medad were chosen, but they didn't go to pick the paper because they were humble. What happened? And similarly, we see another place where we do Moshe did a raffle. Similarly, Moshe was told you should take 5 shekels from each man for the firstborn. So the firstborns at the time, there were 22,000 Leviim and 22,273 firstborns. Those who had a Levi corresponding did not have to pay. Those who did not have those 273 extra did have to pay 5 shekels to Beit HaMikdash. So Moshe said, what should I do? What should I do? If I tell each Levi go pay money, but the guy will say, no, I'm going through the Levi, therefore I'm patur. He took 22,000 pieces of paper and wrote Levi. 273, he wrote 5 shekel. Put them in the box. And he told the firstborns, go take your paper. If you took a paper that said Levi on it, that guy is already patur. 273 people got the Hamesh shekel paper, they had to pay 5 shekels. Rabbi Shimon says, but Eldad and Medad, these 2 people, they did not even go to the thing, they stayed in the camp. When Hashem told Moshe, go pick 70 people, they heard this, they said, you know what, we don't think we're eligible, we don't think we're good enough. Since you humbled yourselves, I'm going to add greatness to your greatness. What did he give them? The other 70 Zakanim, the other 70 judges, they had prophecy, but then it stopped. But these 2, Eldad and Medad, they moved the pasku, they were able to prophesy and not stop. What did prophecy they do? There are 3 opinions. Amru, they said Moshe met, they said Moshe will die. Et Yisrael la'aretz, and Yeshua will bring Bnei Israel into Eretz Yisrael. Abba Hanin Amar Mishum Rabbi Elazar, second opinion, Iskesh Salav him, they're prophesying on the future event that will happen with Bnei Israel, that Bnei Israel are going to complain about the man. Hashem will give them birds to eat, and they end up getting punished for those birds. Ali Slav. The Rav Nachman and Rahman says a different prophecy. They prophesied about the Gog and Magog by Mashiach. שנאמר כה אמר השם אלוקים אתה הוא אשר דיברתי בימיך ביד עבד נביאי ישראל הנביאים הם בשנים להביא אותך עליהם. Al Tikre Shanim, it doesn't say, don't read it as years, Ella Shinaim, 2 prophecies. And who are those? 2 prophets that prophesy at the same time. Okay, Maramor. All of the prophets, the other 70 rabbis prophesied and stopped. The Eldad Medad did not stop. The other rabbis stopped. If because the pasuk says they prophesied but they didn't continue of the Yasafu means continue. That's not true. We have the same lashon by the shofar by Moshe by Har Sinai. The sound went on and did not stop. Does that mean what? Does that mean it didn't stop either? Of course it stopped. Rather, it didn't stop. Meaning it means that it they didn't stop having Nivwa. So where's the source that they did stop? The Gemara says Allah over here it says they had a prophecy in past tense. Hatam k'tiv v'yitnabbe'u medar mitnabbe'im. They are prophesying. They're continuing to prophesy. Okay. Now we had three opinions on the prophecy. According to the first opinion that said that Moshe will die, that's why That's why Yeshua, when he heard what was going on, he told Moshe, "Let me destroy them for prophesying this." He didn't like that they were talking about him taking over Moshe. But according to the opinion that said they were prophesying with the second two things about Gog and Magog or the birds, why would you want to punish them for that? Yeshua didn't like it because they were as if they were posek halacha in front of the rabbi. They were saying these things without Moshe Rabbeinu present, in front of his presence. Since according to the opinion who said the last two opinions, 10. That's why Moshe said, Inshallah, that more people should be Navi. Moshe, that was Moshe's response to Yeshua. Don't destroy them. I'm happy. Maybe they be more Naviut. And the man that Moshe met, but according to the opinion that said that Moshe will die, that's his response. Like, inshallah, more? Of course not. So what did the Gemara say? Lo siyamu come. Yeshua didn't tell Moshe what they said in that first opinion. Right? Who wants to tell that other person that someone's saying bad about them? Okay, my claim, what does Yeshua mean when he said destroy them? Kill them? Amarle says no. I tell the hand Moshe, Yeshua told Moshe, give them extra burdens, give them extra work to do. It'll take away their happiness. They'll no longer be able to give nivuah, like we see this week's parasha. Yaakov only got back his nivuah when he met Yosef, because when Yosef left, he was very down and not happy, and therefore he wasn't able to have nivuah. So he says, Yeshua told Moshe, give them a lot of work, and they'll stop being able to do nivuah. Okay, our Mishnah mentioned that 20 judges plus 3, right from the Pesach. Where we know those 3? And Mishnah said, because of it can't be 20, it has to be 22. Sorry, it can't be, you need a majority of 22 judges if we add 2, and then it can't be even, there's 23. The Gemara says, at our end, we said that you have to have a majority, but you can't have a majority of 2 because you have to have a majority of 2 to convict. But it's impossible to have 2. If you have 11 saying the guy's patur and 12 chayav, that's not a majority of 2. If you have 10 saying patur and 13 saying chayav, you have 3. So how would you have a case? Oh, you need a majority of 2 to convict. It's impossible. Either 10 and 13 or 11 and 12, which doesn't work. Gemara says, the only thing I'll have 2 is when in the case where you added judges because of a situation where one of the judges says they're not sure, you add 2 more judges. So in the case of 24, maybe you have to have a majority of 2. If they were quotes fits according to all opinions. In the case of Sanhedrin Daf, in the case of Sanhedrin Daf where you need majority of 2, it'll fit with Rabbi Yehuda, who says there's 70, you'll be able to have 36 to 34. Okay, when you have 20 judges, one of them bows out, you're adding 2 more, like we said, you're allowing an even bet din of 24. Don't think it's considered 25 now. The Gemara says, Pshita, of course. Why would you think so? Why would you think that it's 25 if you just took 1 out, added 2? 23 minus 1 plus 2 is 24. The Gemara says, no, you might think, when the judge says, I don't know, maybe he's still considered there, he doesn't have a full opinion. If he were to say something about the case, he'd actually take into consideration. Therefore, we consider 25. Therefore, Rabbi Abba is saying, when he's saying, I don't know, he's excluded. Therefore, if he says anything, we don't even listen to him. Okay. If all judges of Sanhedrin are trying to convict, but you know to the guy's patur, why given the community, since they learned already that they're going to convict. Usually we have an overnight. If a guy is supposed to looks like he's getting convicted, you wait overnight for them to redeliberate. But over here, they're not going to want to redeliberate because they're all saying chayav, and therefore he's patur because he's unable to acquit him. Rabbi Yochanan, a person can only become part of Sanhedrin if he's tall. I'm already out. Smart, strong looking, older, and also knows the witchcraft to know who's chayav or patur at that. יודעים ב-70 לשון שלא תהיה סנהדרין לשמוע מפי סמכותן, also you have to know 70 languages, like in this week Parashah with Yosef and Paro. And so that a Sanhedrin does not have to listen to a middleman to translate things, because things get lost in translation, therefore he has to know all 70 languages. A person Sanhedrin has to be so smart that he could figure out a way to say that a sheretz should be tahor, a dead carcass of an insect should be tahor from the Torah. Even though the Torah says not to, but you have to have the mind, the capacity to make be mehadesh things. The Gemara says, "Amarav, ani adon batreno." I could do that. How? If a snake that can kill and it thereby spreads tumah is tahor itself, sheretz she'eno made umar and then tahor. So sheretz does not kill and make more tumah, so therefore it also should be tahor. Gemara says, "No, it's not a good proof." Because a regular thorn, a regular stick can kill someone, and yet it's also tahor, even though it could spread tumah. So that logic is out the window. Any town that does not have two people that are able to speak the same languages, one person to understand the same languages at least, and Betar there was three. Yavne there was four. And they used these four rabbis. The question is Rav said that Sanhedrin, there was three of them, is good. But if you eat in the if there's four, bajanin, even better. Rav said two. Well, how do you explain that? Gemara says, how do I write this bright that Rav says at the following opinion? Tanya, Shnei Chachma, Shlishit in the two is good, three better. Okay. We're going to learn some phrasing. When the Gemara says the following phrase, Lemidin, Lifnei Hachamim, we're studying before Hachamim, this refers to Levi Merabi, Levi from Rabbi. Danin Lifnei Hachamim, teaching in front of Hachamim, this refers to Shimon ben Azai, Shimon ben Zuma, V'chanan, Mizri, V'chanan, ben Hachinai. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Matnei Hamisha. Rav Nachman said it's five Tanaim. Who's that? Shimon ben Azai, Shimon ben Zuma, Shimon Hatimni, and Hanan and Hananiah. Okay. Rabbeinu Shebabel, the rabbis in Bavel. Who's that? Rav Shmuel. Rabbeinu Shebabel Eretz Israel. When it says that a rabbi is in Eretz Israel, that is Rabbi Abba. Dayanei Gola, the judges in Chutz La'aretz is Karna. Dayanei Eretz Israel, the judges in Eretz Israel, Rabbi Ami, Rabbi Asi. Dayanei Pumbedita, the rabbis in Pumbedita, Rabbi bar Shmuel. Then the judges of Nahda is Rav Ada bar Binyamin. Sabed de Surah, Rav Huna bar Hista. The rabbis of Surah is Rav Huna bar Hista. Sabed de Pumbedita, the rabbis of Pumbedita, Rav Huda bar Ana. Harifeh de Pumbedita, the sharp rabbis of Pumbedita, Aifa v'Avimi b'nei Rahaba. Amora'eh de Pumbedita, Amorim of Pumbedita is Rabbi Rezef. Amora'eh de Nadraya Rav Hama. Nahablai, when it says Nahablaim, is Matnu taught, is Rami bar Berabi. Amri Berav, the rabbis of Rav, in Rav's Bet Midrash, Rav Huna. The Gemara says Rav Huna Amar Berav, but we see that Rav Huna said in the name in the Bet Midrash of Rav, so it can't be talking about himself. The Gemara says no, Elam Rav Hamnuna, not Rav Huna, Rav Hamnuna. All these phrases are all over shots, and now you know what it's referring to. Amri Ma'ara, they said in the west, in Eretz Yisrael, is Rabbi Yirmiyah. Shalchu mitam, they sent from Eretz Yisrael, is Rabbi Yosef bar Hanina. Mahakula Ma'ara, they laughed about it in Eretz Yisrael, is Rabbi Lazar. But we know elsewhere it says they sent the message from the west. The Rabbi Yosef bar Hanina in the name of Rabbi Yosef bar Hanina. We see that it can't be that who it's talking about. The Gemara says Ela Epoch is the opposite. Shalchu mitam, when they sent from Eretz Yisrael, is Rabbi Lazar. Mahakula Ma'ara, Rabbi Yosef bar Hanina. Okay. And that's part of the Mishnah. How many people have to be in a town to have a Sanhedrin? 120. How? But might have too. What 120 people doing in the town? You need 23 people to be back up for the Sanhedrin of the smaller one. You have 3 rows of Sanhedrin, 23 in the Sanhedrin. That's already 92. Right, 23 plus 23, 23. 10 people who are learning in shul all day. That's 102. 2 people to write down what's going on in Betin. 2 officers. 2 litigants. 2 witnesses. 2 people who can knock out those witnesses. And 2 people who can knock out those second set of witnesses. That's already 106. 114 rather. Right? That's the minimum people in a town in order to have a court case. Tanya says, any town doesn't have the following. The Talmid Chacham can live there. Who's that? Bedin Makin Bonchin, a bedin that has that can administer punishments and malkut. The Kupasha Zakat and Bishnaim and charity fund with two people. Umit Halak Bishoshan and distribute with three. But Smashes a shul. But Minahat bathhouse. But Kisab bathroom. Rofe a doctor. Vuman a bloodletter. A guy like a scribe. Umet called the teacher of children. Mishum Rai Kilmer after Mine Pere, you also need fruits in the city. Because fruits brighten the eyes. All right, so it's we see from here that these are six additional people, and some of them are multiple jobs, and therefore 114 plus 6, 120. Now Hanan says no, 130. Rabbi says Matam Vishivim Vishiv, I know 177. Versus Matam, 1 second. Rabbi says elsewhere, Matam Vishivim Ushmone, 278. Sorry, 277, now 278. Stira. The Gemara says, no, Lakash not Stira. Harabi, Yuda, Harabanan. This opinion is according to Rabbi went to Yuda, and the second opinion went according to Hachamim. Moshe shall put over the people officers of thousands, hundreds, officers of fifties, and officers of tens. And since there was 600,000 people, how did that work? Officers of thousands, 600, that's not 6,000. 12,000. That's 60,000. Therefore, total judges in Eretz Israel were 78,600.